Alrighty. You can't build your team in the transfer portal. A disappointing year for some teams in college football. I feel like some awards got snubbed. Feel like the Heisman got snubbed. But we're going to talk about that all today on the Over and Under podcast. It is yours truly, Charles Comer, with yours truly, James Spencer. How you doing today, James?
I'm here, live and dying at the same time.
Yeah, yeah.
All you can do.
All you can do, man. So we had a lot to talk about. It's been kind of disappointing because wasn't really no games today or yesterday. I would say you had the Army and
Yeah.
Navy game, but I didn't even watch that, so we won't go deep dive into that game. But we do need to talk about the season. As overall, what happened during the season. Uh, talk about everything that's happened with the awards, everything that's happened with conference alignment, some of it that's coming this year, and there's a 12-team playoff, so we got a lot to talk about, even though there weren't games. A lot of feedback and news, but top five moments from this year from you. Do you go ahead and let me know? You don't have to name them one through five, but go ahead and let me know one of your moments that was college football this year.
Um, let's see. One
Did
of
you
them
have
would
a
probably
team
be
that get upset?
Oregon ruining it for Tech when they thought
Oregon
they was
ruined
gonna
it.
beat Oregon.
Oregon ruined it for Tech.
That's a good one. Just because I don't like Tech and I hate the fans.
That's crazy. And
Let's
you
see.
live in Lubbock. You live in Lubbock and you hate Tech.
And
I guess.
mad at me. Let's see. What else?
I
That
got one of mine. Texas going into Alabama and coming out
Oh
with
yeah,
a
that's a
10
good one.
point win. Yeah. Alabama under Nick Saban never lost a home game by more than double digits. The first time they lost a whole game in double digits was to Texas, and the last time they've ever lost a home game by more, well, the last two home games they lost were in Nick Saban's first year in 2007. So he lost to LSU by 7 and the University of Louisiana Monroe by 7. So that was his
Damn.
first year, coaching Alabama. So for Texas to go in and get that win this year was big. One of the main reasons they did make it into the college football playoffs. But that was one of mine. I'm gonna give you a second one just to go off. When LSU lost to Ole Miss, um, this is when I started my betting sports. When you were like, "Hey, sleeper, you can do picks," and I'm like, you know what? Let me put a parlay in, okay? Then I did my parlay on my other app. LSU is up 42-34 going into the fourth quarter, and I'm like, okay, I don't think Ole Miss is gonna come back and win this game. They got Jaden Daniels. I didn't know the LSU secondary was going to give up in the fourth quarter in their defense.
Yep.
Um, Ole Miss went to score 21 points, end up winning the game 55-49. Tell you, I lost a parlay that was 10K off that game. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Damn.
I did that was my
Hate to see
last
that.
leg. I had a 15 leg parlay. It was a hope and a prayer, and I was looking at that. I'm like,
15
yo,
leg is crazy.
15 leg is crazy, but I needed that one game, and I was gonna be up 10K. I was like, man, I'll be up 10K. It's gonna be nice. And LSU blows it in the fourth quarter. Heartbroken,
That's about right.
very heartbroken.
Oh, you know what was a crazy moment though? When New Mexico State beat Auburn.
Yeah.
What was it, New Mexico?
Mm.
That was wild.
Yeah. New
I can't
Mexico
believe they
State
did that.
beat
That's
Auburn
crazy.
as well.
But What else would I have? It was nothing super wild for me because my team kept losing to Washington, so there wasn't nothing amazing with them. Oh, you know what?
Yeah, as we was talking about New Mexico State and Auburn,
Yeah, yeah,
that was
yeah.
a crazy game. Tell me how you felt about that one.
No shade against like New Mexico State or nothing. That they're a D1 school and everything, but they're mostly known for basketball and stuff like that. So them to go to beat Auburn, an SEC team like that is just probably I give it one of my top moments just because it was just a surprise.
That David Pavia, I think it's the quarterback's name.
Yeah, I think so, something like that.
Scout team NFL quarterback right there. He's gonna be nice as scout team NFL quarterback. He's not starting material, but he can get some reps on the scout team for sure. Um, my other one is the Pac-12 late night special with sorry, not Oregon, but Colorado and Colorado State, where everybody was up to 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, I wasn't.
You went up,
No.
but that game was crazy. There was a lot of trash talk in the coaches' media all week. Winning the double overtime. Um, I think that's the game we really saw, or where I started to see that um,
Faults.
faults, flaws.
Before you say trash.
Before I hate trash, faults, flaws. Where they started to come out because T.J. Horn was killing them at wide receiver. They were running like the same play for
Yeah.
like 3 drives. And then Dion's overtime, conspiracy on taking the ball first. I never understand that. We'll
No
never
telling.
understand that, right? But now listen, my next one is gonna make you mad, but when Virginia won and beat North Carolina,
I was gonna bring that up too.
you hyped up Drake May. I think the game before that, you hyped up Drake May so much, and I was like, okay, I'll believe
Hey,
in him.
listen, he didn't play bad. He just threw a bad pick at the end. That was really it. Which
Yeah,
I
in the game,
get.
he had like
I
357 yards. So
Yeah, I know it's like for the game, but I mean he didn't play well. They should have blew Virginia out. I don't even know why it was a game, but yeah, it wasn't good.
it wasn't a game. I mean, for North Carolina's defense in the fourth quarter was acting like they were running like gashers all day. It was crazy.
Yeah,
You could see them on the field. They were bent
tired.
over. They were tired. They was asking to
Mm-hmm.
be subbed in. Mac Brown was like, "What do you mean subbed in? This is the
Mm-hmm.
fourth quarter." You know. So yeah, that one, the Colorado game, Texas going into Bama, LSU losing to Ole Miss, and the one that I hated worse, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. USC being so disappointing this year. USC, Caleb Williams, understanding that it's not Caleb's fault, understanding that it is Caleb's fault as you look more into the season. USC's practice tendencies, how they don't practice well. Lincoln Riley, having the worst defensive coordinator in God knows probably the league. All that talent, and most of them are transferring out. A lot of
I don't
their
blame him.
skill players are transferring out. But all that talent and a disappointing season.
Yep.
Caleb was supposed to be the first quarterback to win back to back Heisman, but there's a little mix up in that. We'll get to
Sorry
that
about it.
later. But sorry about it. You don't like Caleb? I feel like you you
I no, it's
grown
not.
not
It's
to
not.
like Caleb.
It's not like that. It's uh just going into the season. All the hype coming in around them and everything, and then this is the season that they gave. It's just I don't know. It's just not what you expected from this USC team coming off from last year and everything, and Caleb Williams being who he was. Well, I mean, not who he was, who he is.
Yeah.
I mean, he's still not a bad player. It's just he made mistakes. The team wasn't helping him at all, and it's just It's just a bad overall season for them. Which, hey, it happens. It happens here and there.
Who do you think will be better in the league? Drake May, Caleb Williams, Michael Penix. Yeah, that's all I got. Or JJ McCarthy if he leaves this year.
Out of all those, I think Drake May is going to be the better quarterback.
I knew
I'm
you were going to
sorry,
say
bro.
that.
He's more I think more NFL ready than the others. But that's just my opinion. Caleb Williams is from USC. You haven't seen a good USC quarterback since like Carson Palmer.
Matt Leinart? What was wrong
Oh,
with
wow,
Matt?
we're not doing this, bro.
Okay.
Matt Leinart was not that guy. Well, I'm
But
not
yeah.
about to. You want me to bring up the stats? I'll bring up the
No.
stats.
We don't need to bring up
Okay.
the stats. We don't need to bring NFL stats are disappointing. NFL stats are disappointing. But so you say Caleb Williams? Well, you say Drake May will be better than Caleb Williams. You
Yeah.
think Michael Penix will be in there?
I think he's gonna need like a year or two. Maybe if he gets lucky to. I mean, he probably won't get that lucky, but if he sat behind a quarterback before like a year or so, I think he would benefit off of that.
So
But
you're
I think that
saying Drake May is ready, like right
yeah,
now,
I think he's like NFL ready. Just the
like he
way.
can go into the draft, go practice, and start like next week.
I mean, that's probably what the situation is gonna be for him. But Michael Penix, I think if he sat I think he's gonna be the better one though, like in the long run. But as of like right now, if they all got drafted right now, I think Drake May is the most NFL ready quarterback. But all down the line, I think what's his name? Penix would be the better quarterback down the line.
Yeah, I like Penix, and don't get me wrong, I like Drake May. I've watched film on him. Drake May he's all right. I'm not gonna say he's that guy, but he's all right. I think Michael Penix will be penalized for his release on how he releases the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Drake May has that kind of NFL caliber already, like high release, high elbow, not coming off the back foot a lot. And I think Michael Penix comes off his back foot a lot, and then his release is kind of weird. But I think Michael Penix's precision is way better than anybody that's in the draft. And I think if you put him behind a good receiving core, then you'll be good.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you give him maybe just like sit behind a quarterback, not like just a decent mentor, I think he'll benefit off of that. Like I said, I think he'll be the better quarterback in the long run. But as of right now, with the mechanics and everything, it'd be Drake May.
Well, yeah. Well, we'll see how that plans out. We'll have to do a podcast on that, on the top prospects we think going into the NFL draft as we go in the off season and get closer to the draft. But going into the next segue, the transfer portal has been on fire.
Yeah.
Every day I wake up, transfer. He transferred.
Mm-hmm.
You transfer. I transfer. Everybody can transfer now. And I don't think a lot of people know the transfer rules or how the transfer works. So for our listeners, let me explain the transfer portal. So you had about 1,500 players into the transfer portal so far.
Isn't it like the most in like ever or something like that?
Well, yeah, because I think last year they had around 1,100, I think. But within the first week, it was 1,500 players. That's including D1 and D2. So excuse me. So you had a lot of big names come out this transfer portal, but some of the rules to let you know. So you can only transfer once, like as a regular student. Once you graduate, right? If you graduated from Tech, once you graduate, you can transfer again.
Mm-hmm.
And then let's say your coach leaves, you also have eligibility to transfer another time.
Yeah.
So you have the ability to transfer 3 times if you really wanted to, if all that happened back to back to back. But man, have you seen the people in the portal? I think Texas A&M is going to be absolutely gutted.
Yeah, I think so. They lose like almost all their D line and everything.
So on my list, I have Walter Nolan. They lost 6'4", 285.
Yeah.
He's from that recruiting class in 2022. Their best recruiting class in college football.
Mm-hmm.
He's a part of that. Then you have LT Overton, who was another defensive lineman from the 22 recruiting class. Um, he's 6'5", 280. So they're losing
Damn.
a lot of big men up front in the defensive line.
Did you say he
Um,
was the number one recruit from that class?
yes,
Okay, I was like,
Walter Nolan was the number one recruit from that class. LT Overton was the number 12 defensive lineman, I think, from that class. But altogether, that 2022 class from Texas A&M was the best class that any college football program had recruited. So, um, Walter Nolan, I think, will go to Texas.
yeah,
But Elijah Robinson left. He was the defensive line coach from Texas A&M. So when Mike Elko got there, I'm guessing they couldn't figure out or if Mike Elko wanted to keep him, but he left. He went to go coach Sarah with the coach from Georgia's defensive coordinator who got the Syracuse job. He
yeah,
went to go coach up there. But I think Nolan and Overton are going to be a duo deal. I think they've built a tight core, that defensive line, especially at Texas A&M. So I think they're going to both, wherever one goes, I think the other one will follow. I would be surprised if
yeah,
they don't do that.
yeah.
But
I agree with that. Yeah,
another noticeable in the portal, you have Dante Moore, the quarterback from
UCLA.
UCLA. Yeah,
Yeah,
freshman, started this year. He had a good start, but then after the Utah game, really was struggling. Kind of had some injuries. So I don't think that. Well, I won't say I don't think he'll do well, but wherever he goes, he has to understand, I guess, more of the IQ of the game because you can see at times that when he's playing quarterback
mm-hmm.
that he wasn't comfortable with the speed of the game. And I mean that's
That comes.
understandable.
Yeah,
Yeah, as a freshman, that's
yeah.
understandable. But yeah, Dante Moore is in the portal. When he before he committed to UCLA, he was committed to Oregon.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and at the last moment he switched his commitment to UCLA. Um, don't ask me why he went to UCLA over Oregon. Maybe
Money.
y'all ducks over there did some. Oregon got way more bread than UCLA.
You think?
Yes. Who you think
I.
cares more about their program? The college where Nike headquarters is, or where UCLA where they got to compete with USC?
Oh, I was just saying, just because it's a California school, it's in LA, so I would think they would just like bring in more money from the boosters and everything, especially like from, well, they probably not gonna share it all the way around, but like from the basketball program and stuff, like throwing that into different departments. But hey, that's just me
I think they're a
assuming.
basketball school more than a football school, to be honest with you.
Yeah, just assuming things. But how do you feel about Kyle McCoy from Ohio State?
Okay, so let's talk about this, right? Because we talk about Ohio State and we talk
Yeah,
about and mind you, we're gonna talk about that too because I told you, my theory was right. Kyle McCord was not C.J. Stroud. He's not a Terrell Pryor. He's not was it Cordell Jones? Was
yeah,
before him. Um, he's not any of that caliber as far as athletic, right?
mm-hmm.
He sat behind people to get his start. So you would think the reps, maybe in practice, the knowledge, the film room, that it would correlate to the field, but he wasn't outstanding. And I think Ohio State needs an outstanding quarterback to get over that hump. One, to get into the national championship, and two, to beat Michigan. Um, do I think that they're going to find it in the portal? No, I don't think they are. if they don't find if they sign, I think is what William Howard from Kansas State.
Uh
Who? Yeah, okay. William Howard from Kansas
huh.
State and Marvin Harrison stays one more year. Marvin Harrison's draft stock is going to drop because I don't think he's going to have the William Howard's not that caliber of a quarterback. I don't think he's better than Kyle McCord. I think it
so
had to do. I think it had to
so
do with something with him and Ryan Day that it couldn't click.
gotcha. And so with Cam Ward going into the portal, you don't think Ohio State's an option for him?
No, they've reports have came out. You know, specialists have came out. Analysts from 247 Sports, that's who does all the transfer portal recruiting. Ohio State is not even on Cam Ward's radar. They're
Ah,
saying
interesting.
Florida State, Miami, and Oregon. No, sorry,
Okay.
Florida State, Miami, and Washington. So he would go to the other side. He would go to his rivalry.
Okay.
That would be crazy. Don't think that's ever happened in transfer report history, but it is new. So there's really no rules to this thing, right?
Yeah,
So, but do you think Cam Ward would do well in Ohio State?
I think so. I mean, they're gonna get the top recruits from every year, so it's just plugging him into the system and working him in with these receivers and everything. And especially if Marvin Harrison stays, then yeah, that's a lot. I think he would do well. I mean, he did well at Washington State with what they had, and I
They had
mean
a
that's
nice
why.
receiving core at Washington State, though.
And they had a decent receiving core.
I Kelly, they had a nice tight end. I'm not speaking of his name, but okay, I'll give you decent. They weren't
But
spectacular.
I mean, like you have these Washington State receivers or Ohio State receivers.
I mean,
These top
Fleming
recruits.
left, so you just have Marvin Harrison and Fleming left. Fleming's in the transfer portal. You got a couple more wide receivers in the transfer portal.
I mean, you
What
got
I
recruits coming in though too, so top
what
recruits.
what's crazy this transfer portal to me, right? Because I
Mm.
haven't really figured it out. Is are kids leaving, like freshmen coming in, sophomore coming in, leaving because they're not getting player time, or they're thinking I can go to this other school and get money, right? With
Yeah,
all this NIL deals and everything going on, right? That's why, like, I think they can't. Let's say Cam Ward goes to Ohio State, all
mm.
right, and then Kyle McCord goes to Nebraska, which they say he's visiting Nebraska. Him and Fleming are both visiting Nebraska this week, and they play each other. And Nebraska beats Ohio State.
Yeah,
That's going to be telling. That's going to be real telling about like, what are we doing? Because in some instances, also the kids getting into the transfer portal aren't saying that themselves. The coaches are like, "Hey, you need to go ahead and hop in the portal. Like,
hmm
we're good." You know what I mean?
yeah. I feel like it's just a combination of all that money, not playing time, or someone that's coming in that you think you're gonna lose your job to.
Yeah.
I think it's just a whole combination. I think every situation is just different. Like with Kyle in Ohio State, I mean he was a starter and everything. Just I mean he wasn't doing bad, but at the same time, it wasn't like the standards of these Ohio State quarterbacks of old, you know. And I think that's glaring down on into him, and just he needs to be up here, and he's just right here in the middle of the pack, you know. And for a kid at that age and everything, and plus going to classes, going to work. We've been through all these workouts
Yeah.
and study hall and everything, and then all this pressure. You need to start a quarterback at Ohio State. You need to be Michigan. All this. Hey man, some kids it'll be too much pressure and go to a school that it's not that type of pressure, like beating this type of team every year or having this type of seasons that we're gonna go to the playoffs. Like just something that you're more comfortable with, and like cool, we can fight for a playoff spot. We can fight for these rankings, but it's not gonna be such much of a pressure of being the top spot because you're at the Ohio State University. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand that.
It's different for everybody. That's just one thing. He's just I feel like it's just the pressure of all that. But again, everybody goes into the portal for different reasons, and some maybe it just might be money. Some people it just might be um, they're not getting playing time, or I mean, they just might not like the school or the coaches or
Yeah.
whatever, or the party scene. You never know. You don't like I said, it's just different for everybody.
And you know,
It just
Wayland was
depends.
was a crazy party school, right?
Yeah. So I mean, it just whatever you're looking for, you go into the portal and you're gonna find a school that what fits you better. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. For sure you will. Question. You know we went to Wayland, right? I'm gonna ask you this question.
Yeah.
Remember when we all transferred in? Because we were all basically there were a lot of transfers to Wayland.
Yeah.
Like the
Yeah.
football, all the football players. Well, could you consider Wayland the HBCU because how many black people came to Plainview?
It was a different thing. I mean, Plainview had black people there, but it was
I don't think it was that many because when I came to
no. Well,
visit,
I'm from the area though, so I
oh
know
well,
like
yeah,
what.
yeah, you kind
So
of know, yeah,
there was black people there, but when we all transferred in, yeah, it was just. I feel like it was a culture shock to a lot of us and everything, and just seeing these religious and Christian people, and you got people from Houston and Dallas coming
you
into
got
the
people from
small town
everywhere.
from this small Plainview town, and just like it was just a culture shock for everybody, and there was I think it was just expecting something different than when we got there and everything, and that's why a lot of people transferred out too at the end of the season. So
That would be your boy too. Also, I think transferred out. Get back on topic of the transfer portal. Trey Moore from UTSA, which was the sophomore player of the year. Well, sorry, the AAC sophomore player of the year, defensive player of the year, has committed to Texas. Now, we're losing Savondre Sweat, Brian Murphy, so Texas is reloading up because they're
hmm
going into the big boy league. They're going into
yeah,
the SEC. I think that was a good pickup by Texas. But the one we really got to talk about is Dylan Gabriel, because
yeah,
Dylan Gabriel going to Oregon is to Bo Nix came from Auburn, went
hmm
to Oregon, became a way better quarterback.
yeah,
Dylan Gabriel was at Oklahoma, a Big 12 powerhouse, now into the SEC, but they lost their coach, their offensive coordinator, Jeff Levy, and he goes into the portal, and now he's at Oregon.
yeah.
How do you feel he'll fit?
That's what I've been wondering about since I've heard the news and everything. It's just his playing style and the way Oregon runs their offense is like polar opposites. But I mean, just like you said about Bo Nix, this man was at Auburn and wasn't the best
At all?
at
Saw
all.
some of that in the Pac-12 game.
We're not talking about that. But yeah, and he transfers to Oregon and look where it got him. It's just like give and take. You just gotta don't want to lose completely his whole game, but you gotta give a little bit just so you can get into the offense and uh follow the play style and everything. But don't lose your whole self because I know he's a good runner and everything like that. So
Yeah.
you gotta keep that keep that going. But it was a weird transfer. I wasn't expecting him to go to Oregon. I wasn't even expecting him to leave Oklahoma, to be honest.
Well, Arnold, their backup quarterback, because Gabriel got hurt during the year, and Arnold is their, I think he's a sophomore. He redshirted his first year. He's a sophomore. When he came in, it was just like easy. They
Mm-hmm.
were going right into the system. There wasn't any, oh, we got to coach him up. He knew what he needed to do. He knew the routes. He knew the plays. So he fit in well. And I think
Yeah,
it's you get to a point, right, where like when we talk about maybe Dylan Gabriel didn't want to transfer, but the coaches are like, all right, you know what? Your time's really up.
yeah,
We need basically cap space when you talk about NIL. We need cap space. So go ahead and transfer out. We'll make sure that you get to a good home. But as far as right now, next year Arnold will be our starter.
yeah,
And we don't want you here give, not having NIL money, well not us having efficient NIL money to fill in other areas of need, right? So
yeah.
I think that's really what it comes down to.
I can see it. Yeah, it's just we have this. What he has 3 years of eligibility left or something, or 2.
Dylan Gabriel has
No, I meant the other dude.
Arnold has 3. Yeah, he has
Yeah,
3
so
years.
this other dude that has 3. I think only Gabriel only has 1 more year.
Yeah, he has 1 more year. So,
Yeah, so
but
the 3
that's
to
the thing.
1.
Yeah, we had to talk about that. Like a lot of players are transferring with a 1 year eligibility left.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
12-team playoffs. I think a lot of teams, a lot of colleges, a lot of programs are taking these 1 year quarterbacks in order to make the 12-team playoff, right?
Yeah, that's what I was
Like,
thinking too.
why would Nebraska go get Kyle McCord?
Gotta ask somebody. What they have right now ain't working.
Yeah, for sure. You know, there's a stat I saw. They were second to last in passing yards.
Yeah.
I think they averaged the last team was Iowa, and then it was Nebraska.
Makes sense.
Shout out to
Makes perfect sense.
Shout out to Brandon from Nebraska that listens to the podcast. I know he'll like that.
Hey.
But yeah, that was crazy. But I don't know. It's just with the transfer portal, I think it's gonna get wild and more wild as the years go on.
Yeah,
Because there's the portal opens again during the spring.
Oh yeah, I forget about that. Yeah.
So the portal opens again during the spring, and we'll see. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, for sure.
But tell me, how did you feel about the award ceremony?
I didn't think it was. Only one that I had a problem with was the receiving one.
Thank you.
Because I get it, Marvin Harrison and everything like that. But there was better receivers out there this year with better numbers. And not trying to talk down, but I think with the name and everything, he gets thrown up to the top of the award.
Because Malik Neighbors, bar for bar, stat for stat, was way better than Marvin Harrison this year.
Yeah, and that's like I said. I think it was more of just the name of just Marvin Harrison Jr. Here you go. I mean, not saying he's a great receiver. I get it, but Neighbor was just miles and miles ahead this year, just unstoppable force. So that's really what I had a problem with. For the most part, other than that, it wasn't anything else too controversial. The Heisman, I figured JT was gonna get it. But yeah, that was really the only one that I thought was just like, that's what we doing. I mean, I get it, but hey,
you had a doomsday.
I thought it was the best receiver in the country for the year, not just the one with the best name.
Well, because you had, if it was me, right? If I was voting in the order I would have put it, I would have put Neighbors.
Yeah.
I would have put a doomsday, then I would have put Marvin Harrison, right?
Yeah, I would do the same thing, yeah.
Because Marvin Harrison was great. He was basically only good, I won't say the only good, but the only, I guess, automatic threat that Ohio State had that when you play Ohio State, you're like, all right, we got to stop Marvin Harrison, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you want to say that is giving him an edge over the other wide receivers, I would say no. But when you look for stat and people, with other teams, the competition they play. In the SEC, you had LSU play Auburn, Alabama, Ole Miss, all that, right?
Yeah.
Who did Ohio State play? Indiana, Nebraska,
mm-hmm.
Illinois, all the up north, nobody. Penn State.
Yeah.
Penn State was the best game. And mind you, in Penn State, he had a great game. He went off in the Penn State game. But that boosting, if we're just going to give awards based on people's last name, then Frank Gore's son, who's a running back, should have had an award, right?
Yeah.
Jerry Rice's son should have got in the wide receiver award. And then you put Marvin Harrison there. But I don't know, man. I was disappointed in that, and I was disappointed in the Heisman. I don't think Jaden.
Who did you want for the Heisman?
I wanted Penix.
Penix?
I wanted Penix.
Nah.
Every year, whoever wins the Maxwell Award, who is the best quarterback in the league or in the college football, convertently wins the Heisman Trophy. That's how it went every year.
Before you get into the Heisman, let me give you these receivers right here. Malik Neighbors was number one receiver in the nation with 1,500 yards and 14 touchdowns. 1546, but I'm not getting all that into it. On Doomsday was right behind him, 1428, 13 touchdowns. And Marvin Harrison is the number 9 best receiver in the nation with 1,200 yards and 14 touchdowns. There's a few receivers ahead of him, and he's the one that pulls out the best receiver award. That's crazy.
It's a popularity contest at this point.
Troy Franklin, number 5 right here. Malik Washington for Virginia. Playing for Virginia?
Hey, Malik Washington was nice. Malik Washington was nice.
Playing for Virginia, man.
Yeah.
But anyways, go ahead. I just wanted to point that out. This man was number 9 in the nation, and he gets the award, but I'm not going to get more into it. Go ahead with the Heisman.
Man, but usually that's how it works. Whoever wins the Maxwell Award as the best player, coherently the best quarterback, usually wins the Heisman. Penix beat Oregon twice, right? First game he got hurt. Now, did they have a bad stretch, right? A bad stretch where he wasn't that good? Of course they did. But in big games, he showed up and he won. Jaden Daniels in big games, they lost. They lost to Bama. He got knocked out the game. I can't blame him for that. When you play against the Roll Tide, they really get to snap in their belt buckle. You know what I mean? Ole Miss, that's the game I mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
You know, he lost that. And it's just like, bro, like, I love Jaden Daniels. I think he's going to do well. I was actually reading an article on how this offseason, how he's got so well, actually in the season. So it's kind of off topic, but there's a device that LSU started using that it's a VR, like a VR headset.
Oh, okay.
And he gets to put it on, and he gets to basically, they edit the defense that he's going to face that week, right? And then the plays that they have, they put him in there, and he just goes over that.
Oh,
so
dang.
He feels it like in a real gameplay.
Like in game,
so, yeah. So he's making his checks, and it's way quicker in the VR, right? So he's making his checks quicker. So as he's in the game, it just kind of seems like slow motion.
Yeah.
And they started using it after the Mississippi game, and ever since the Mississippi State game, after the Mississippi State game, his stats were through the roof. All right, so yeah, I would have liked Penix to win it, but I'm not going to take away from Jaden Daniels winning that. It was great. It was really a great year for black quarterbacks. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah, for sure.
You had Michael Penix, you had Jaden Daniels, you had Cam Ward.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a lot of other quarterbacks. You had Drake May. We might as well throw him a little,
a black quarterback.
Yeah, no, I'm kidding. We might as well throw Drake.
Blacks on there. You forgot about Shadir Sanders too.
Yeah, you got Shadir. Yeah, I can't forget about Shadir. And I'm glad you brought that up because we got to talk about this transfer portal class, right?
Sick transition.
Great transition, but I'm going to just read this off to you. Now, as I talked about in the beginning of this, you cannot build an offensive line in the transfer portal. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. All right? Dion earlier this season, as he saw that his son was getting tossed around like a bag of potatoes at the HEB produce, he was like, I'm going to get a whole brand new offensive line next year. These players that I promised to come in, that I promised to develop, they're going to be out of here. One, that's wrong. However, college is a business now. We understand that. Now, I'm gonna read off to you these Colorado transfer portal updates, okay? Tight end Chamon Taylor from Cincinnati for the year, 23 receptions, 258 yards, 5 touchdowns. Now, I looked up his premium football stats, right?
Mm.
So it's PFF. They have the premium stats. They go in depth about how the players did through the season
Yeah.
and everything, right? So his PF grade as a wide receiver was 81. That's fine. Okay. We weren't worried about wide receivers. We had wide receivers. Or they had. I'm not even going to say we because I'm a Texas fan. But as a Colorado,
Yeah.
bandwagon native, we had wide receivers. Now, I didn't mention that we needed a good tight end that could block. His blocking percentage is 54%. I'm not going to talk about that. But yeah, we're going to go into the real blockers. All right. Tyler Johnson, guard from Houston, Texas. All right. His PF rating for pass blocking, 80%. His run blocking, 60%. This year, he allowed 8 hurries and 1 sack. That's a valid offensive lineman out the portal, okay? We're going to go the valid and not valid. Justin Mayers, guard from UTEP, 6'3", 309 pounds. We're finally getting some big boys up here, all right?
Yeah.
Pass blocking percentage, 84%. Run blocking, 76%. Only allowed 1 sack this year, 6 hurries. So, with those two, right, that's 2 solid linemen. You could have stopped there. You could have had 2 solid linemen, right? You got a new offensive line coach from Oklahoma. He was an analyst, played in the NFL as an offensive line. Come in, develop the players, right?
Yeah.
Do you think Deion stopped there? Absolutely not. Let me flip the page if you can hear this, okay? Indiana. Khalil Benson. 6'6", 310 pounds. James, ask me what his pass blocking was this year. Mind you, plays for Indiana.
Yeah.
Big Ten. Big Ten don't have great defensive linemen. They're not SEC type Big 12 defensive linemen. Big Ten really got defensive linemen that are more, I wouldn't even say sideline to sideline, but more gap, like outside gap control, not really inside gap control. Pass blocking, 48%.
Oh.
Run blocking, 70%.
Yeah. Okay.
Allowed 29 hurries this season. I know, right? When you think about that, that burns. However, he only allowed 1 sack. Now, Indiana, he's 6'6", 310. Mind you, I'm only saying this. I'm giving you the facts. These are the stats of these players. I'm not making this up. These are people that know how to do analysts way better than me, analyze players way better than me. I'm going to give him grace because they're going to have a better coach. All right. Walker. Yakir Walker from UConn. 6'1", 267. He was a center. Kind of small, but most centers are. Pass block, 68%. Run block, 61%. 1 sack allowed, 10 hurries. 4 offensive linemen transferred in. From Houston, from UTEP, from Indiana, from UConn. He could have had 2 if he would have been good with 2. And these other 2, he's going to try to work in. Do you see that working?
I mean, it's going to have to.
It's going to have to? We just throwing up a prayer?
What else? What's it called? The offensive lineman that recruit from IMG, did he commit or was he still going?
No, he Jordan Seaton. He committed, right? But he's a freshman. He's not going to be ready, James.
You don't think?
Let me tell you like this, right?
Go ahead.
I sent you a clip. And my nose is really messing with me. Sorry about that. I sent you a clip of Alabama's offensive line, right? Remember the clip I sent you? I posted on Instagram on my never mind, Michigan's getting beat by 21. Earlier this year, Alabama had a freshman offensive line. We're talking about the Alabama who knows how to bring in players, get them in strength and conditioning, knows how to develop them, right? They started him. They think he's that good. his percentage, his PF grade percentage was like in the 50s until they took him out, made him earn his reps back, and now he's low 70s. Jordan Seaton is not coming in and protecting Shedeur Sanders' blindside and not going to get absolutely manhandled. He's a kid still. Let's be for real. How many offensive linemen come in the first year and go? Mind you, he's going against Utah, who had one of the best defense next year. They're going against Houston, Cincinnati, Texas Tech. All right. Now, whoa. You hating on Texas Tech? I'm gonna give them grace. All right. I'm gonna give them some grace. I don't think he's gonna be ready. And then you have all the players from last year. You think they're gonna stay there after you bring in all these people to help compete with them? You basically told them in the midseason, all of y'all are gone. As soon as that is a off season clock strikes 1 and it starts, pack your bags. I thought you were Louis. You were Gucci from the gate, from the DH gate. I can't rock with you and get out of here.
They're not getting rid of everybody, bro. Not everybody. If you said they're bringing in the 4 guys and they got the new recruit. I'm not saying he's gonna start day 1, but like work him in or whatever. After you blowing somebody out, work him in, and then by the mid-season he might be ready if whatever other tackle's not working out. But I mean, you're gonna have to figure it out with these transfers, and then whoever stays over the offseason is just gonna have to figure it out one way or another. Because if you want to compete in the Big 12, you're gonna have to get this going. Because it's gonna be offense over there. You gonna have to throw the ball at least 40 times a game.
You have to run the ball. You got to run the ball too. You got to have some big boys to move people.
Well, I mean, and I'm just thinking about just most of these offenses that throw the ball and everything in the Big 12. But I forget about all these other teams that are coming into it. But beside the point. But they're just gonna have to work with what they got, and they got the new coach with the offensive line. I feel like he'll get them ready, and I think they'll be better than they were this year. They're not gonna be maybe like Alabama offensive line or Georgia offensive line or something like that, but it's gonna be. Okay. I think they'll be okay. They'll be better than what they were this past year.
Let me give you an example. Michigan has a good offensive line, right? One of their best offensive line players goes down. They replace him.
Yeah.
The other replacement did well. Same thing happened with Alabama. The same thing happened with Georgia.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to get you to understand is if Deion doesn't start recruiting depth instead of just recruiting transfers that may come in, play a year or two, and then leave.
Oh, okay. Now
where do we see Colorado in 3 years, right?
Okay, I got what you said. I thought you were just talking about just going into the season and stuff, but okay, I get what you're saying now.
I'm saying, and maybe I didn't explain that well because I am saying going into the season.
But you're talking about like to build off of that,
Yeah, I don't think you can put apple, oranges, pears, and mangoes all into a box and say this is the best apples you're gonna ever have in your life. Yeah. Everybody's gonna mesh together. That was a horrible analogy, but everybody's gonna mesh together, right? Yeah. So you can't do that every year. 1, that's stressful on your offensive line, coach. 2, that's not building a team chemistry, a program that way, right? Yeah. Now, maybe this is the start where he says, you know what, I'm going to bring in these transfers, and then this season, this offseason, I'm going to get it right. I'm going to go to people's houses. I'm not only going to recruit inside of Colorado. I'm going to start going to Texas, where my home state is, Florida, competing with these all other schools, building depth, building a program. So that way, in 2 or 3 years, we're talking about, hey, Colorado's top 8 instead of, hey, man, Colorado went, they went 4-8 last year, but this year they went 6-6. I guess it's better, right?
That's building, though.
It is building
compared to 1-10.
But you're Deion Sanders, and the way you've picture or made everybody picture you as I'm coming in and I'm going to build something that you've never seen before, and I'm going to do it my way, and I'm going to win a national championship, or I'm going to go to the 12 team playoffs. Now, listen, if they make it to the 12 team playoffs last year, I'm going to a game. I actually believe, because I think them boys, if they make it to the playoffs, then it's a Cinderella story. We're going all the way to the
Yeah.
ship, all right, and we'll get blown out by Georgia, but that's another thing for another day. But yeah, man, I want Deion to coach, bro. I want to see him in these pictures with these kids in recruiting classes, just not in Boulder. I want him to go in the houses. I kind of want him to do it the old school way, but I
Yeah.
guess maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he's doing it a new way that's going to work for him.
What do you think? All these other coaches are doing it like that all the time too. Like
I don't think they're doing it
I
like all the time, but I think they're doing it consistently over the years, and that's why you have. Let's just say Mike Norvell at Florida State. His first year, he didn't really do that, but he went into the transfer portal, got him a couple of wide receivers. But other than that, most of that depth has came from his recruiting class.
I'm
Look
just
at
saying,
Jimbo.
just like
Yeah,
you think like Nick Saban or Kirby Smart going to these kids' houses like just to come to their school? They already know that they already know the pedigree going into a Georgia and Alabama. I'm not saying that they're not doing that. I'm just saying like every kid that they want, I'm pretty sure they go for like the top of the top recruits or whatever.
Yeah,
But
they go into camps. I think they bring them to the camps, right?
mm-hmm.
They bring them to the camps. They bring them to the games. But I think like those top recruits or those 4 stars that could really be 5 stars once you develop them, yeah, I think they're definitely in the house, and they're because it's a competition. But now, because listen, it's not like back in the day. It's a way bigger competition.
Yeah.
Right? It's a way bigger competition. You got NIL money. You got transfer portal. You got TV deals. You got all types of stuff. Now, what I will congratulate Deion on is he's built Colorado into like an epitome of social media. I didn't even know what Boulder was until they were like, yeah,
That's crazy. You don't go to Colorado?
Do I look like I go to Colorado?
I've been to Colorado.
Hey, buddy. More power to you. My girl does not like the cold, right? And I like the cold to a degree. Like I didn't always have this beard right here, so
it's not always cold there.
Baby. Yeah, it's not. But who wants to go to Colorado when it's hot? I could be in Texas when it's hot.
I've been to Colorado when it's not like a blizzard, and it was cool.
Well, the mountain's nice.
It's a different vibe, but it's cool.
Well,
we'll
go to a college.
It's legal over there too.
Nah, see, I can't do that. I can't do that. DOT violations.
I don't do it either, but I'm just saying it's there. It's there if you want it.
DOT violations. But yeah, I'm ready to see Colorado become, I won't say a powerhouse, but become above average.
Yeah.
And I don't think you can build your offensive defensive line in a transfer portal. But maybe I'm wrong. Deion will prove me wrong. And if he does, I'm with it. Because I'm telling you right now, I'm going to the Colorado versus Colorado State game next year. It ain't going to be cold, but it ain't going to be hot. So your boy will be there bundled up in some Under Armour. You know what I mean?
For sure.
But yeah, man. We'll see how Colorado does. We will see.
I think they'll be fine. It's just the beginning of the portal. And they got recruits coming in too. They're still recruiting and stuff. I mean, there could be people decommitting from other schools and they may head to Colorado. You never know. So I think they'll figure it out. They got a new offensive line coach. That's what they really need to develop these kids, even help these transfers to get better. I think they'll be okay.
All right, here we go. Your 12-team playoff next year. Tell me who gets in.
Hold on. Let me think. Let me get an article up. Let me get this AP real quick so I can see who would be the top 12 right here. Are we talking about just from this year or just in general for next year?
For next year. So we're talking about.
I know, but am I going off of the AP poll from this year or just?
whoever you think's gonna make it
Okay,
next year.
all right. I just want to get everything settled in before I start
Yeah.
throwing names out there.
You got Dylan Gabriel at Oregon,
Yeah.
Ewers is coming back. You got a lot. Kyle McCord at Nebraska. You know what I mean? It's
okay. Relax with Nebraska. They still got a lot of work to do over there.
you know
But
what I mean?
for the 12 teams, let me see. I think Florida State will be in it. Texas. Wait, I don't know. Just because
there's no divisions next year, so the top team from each division, from each Power 5 gets a spot, and then the 5 through 8 gets home field advantage, and then 9, 10, 11, 12 gets playoff berth. Basically, they have to
and
go
the
play.
top four get buys, right?
Yeah, the top 4 get buys. The next 4 get home field advantage, right? And then the 4 after that have to go. They get into the playoff, but they have to go to the other 4 home. So they have to be an away team, which that's going to be crazy when you think about it.
Yeah.
So that's between an 8 and a 9 seed. So let's say Texas is an 8 seed, Oklahoma is a 9 seed. Oklahoma got to go play in Texas. Or let's just say Texas is a 9 seed and Ohio State's an 8 seed. They got to go play Ohio State in the goddamn cold in January.
All right. Okay, let me do this. Let's see. Okay. So, of course, Michigan, I think they'll be in it again.
Okay. Michigan.
Florida State.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck it. I'm going to say Texas.
I would hope you would say Texas. What you mean? Fuck it. I mean,
just because it's just going into the SEC and just everything like that. Just it's gonna be different than playing these people in the Big 12. You know what I mean? I don't.
Yeah, they're gonna have to get up every week.
Yeah. It's not like you're gonna go play Texas Tech and blow them out by 50 or whatever. But anyways,
shout out to the Red Raiders.
I'm just gonna always bring them up talking shit.
Shout out to the Red Raiders.
But Alabama, of course, Georgia, the regulars. Oregon has a shot, dude, with Dylan Gabriel. I'm not saying like top 5, maybe 8 or 9. Ohio State gonna be in there again per usual. You know who I think will be really good though? Ole Miss. I think they'll be in it this year, and Mizzou, both of them. And of course they're gonna throw Penn State in there because it's just Penn State. They're gonna be in there regardless. How many is that?
That's 8.
8. All right. So OU, yeah, I see OU in there.
Mm-hmm.
Arizona.
So Arizona's a Big 12 school now.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can see them getting in. LSU.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I knew.
The last team has to be a power group of 5 team.
I wish I knew who was all coming back to SMU, but I'm gonna go ahead and throw them in there. I'm gonna say SMU.
SMU goes to the ACC next year.
Oh shoot! Okay, I didn't know that.
So you got probably Liberty, James Madison. One of those.
What about Tulane?
Tulane.
Okay, I can see them. Just because they're I think they're on the up and up from what I saw this season. I just didn't know that if what conference it would be classified in. But if it's one of those last 12 in or whatever, last one in or whatever, I can see them jumping in there. They went 11-2 this year, and if they're bringing everybody back, I believe, or they might lose.
They're losing Pratt. Pratt is the quarterback.
Okay. So, but everybody else, I think they'll be fine and shoot for a number 12 spot. I think they can do it, or them, or James Madison. I can see it.
You want to know what's crazy? Why I asked you this, right?
Yeah.
Because you probably got the most unbiased opinion when it comes to conferences and everything. Out of all the 12 teams that you name, only 2 are not even the Big Ten or the SEC.
Look here, bro. I'm just going off of I've seen over the years, and this is what I saw.
That's that when you think about it, because you remember this year they were like the ACC got left out.
Mm-hmm.
The ACC got left out. Big 12 didn't get left out because you have Texas, but Texas is not going to be in the Big 12 next year. The Pac-12 is no longer, right?
Yep.
So basically, these playoffs are about to be the Big 10 against the SEC. What a couple Big 12, maybe a Big 12 team.
I threw a Big 12 in there, right? Yeah.
I think, to be honest with you, I think Utah will get the nod over Arizona.
You think?
Cam Rising is coming back next year.
Is Fafita coming back?
Fafita's a sophomore. Yeah, Fafita's coming back.
Yeah, I'm not even tripping there.
You're taking Fafita over Cam Rising?
Yep. He got a sick name, but I'm gonna take Fafita. Cam Rising is a crazy name.
Cam Rising is a crazy man. Cam Rising is a crazy man. Yeah. I don't know.
I don't even see Notre Dame even making it in there.
I'm gonna give you my teams, right?
All right, hold on. Let me get this going. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay, so Ohio State.
Yep.
Alabama. Georgia. Missouri. If Cam Ward goes to Miami or Florida State, I'll say they get in. If he doesn't, I say he goes to Miami.
Okay.
So Miami. Colorado. I don't know how they're going to get in, but I'm going to put some belief in them. Arizona. Utah. How many is that? 8?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah.
Tulane. James and Madison. I think two of those schools will get in because it's going to be tough. Did I say Missouri?
11. Yeah, you did. So you got 11 right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, one more.
Mississippi State. They're going to score a lot of points. Yeah, they're going to score a lot of points. Mississippi State will be in there. Auburn won't make it.
That's 12 already.
Wait. Who was my?
That Mississippi State was your 12. So you got Ohio State, Alabama.
Take out Tulane.
Okay.
Take out Tulane. All right. So I had James Madison, Mississippi State, and then the other one that I'm going to put is Michigan. I think I put Michigan.
Yeah, you didn't say Michigan. Hold on.
Yeah, Michigan.
Hold on, let me recount real quick. Make sure I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, you got one more.
SMU. I'll just put SMU in
there. SMU.
Put SMU in there.
So you got Ohio State, Alabama, Georgia. You didn't even say Texas, but Missouri.
No. That's not Wallet. Wallet. Not Wallet. Let me put in my team in, bro.
You already said it. Ohio State, Alabama, Georgia, Missouri.
Nah, you fraud,
Miami,
James.
Colorado, Arizona, Utah, Michigan, James Madison, Mississippi State, and SMU.
No, you're
That's
fraud.
set in stone now, bro.
No, you're fraud. Put it in Texas.
Who am I taking out?
You taking out SMU? That's
okay.
You taking out. Put in Texas, bro.
All right, well, Texas then, bro.
Man, hate to see it. Who am I?
You wouldn't even notice if I didn't say nothing.
You're right, but I'm glad they didn't put them goddamn Boomer Sooners in there. It sucked, but yeah, that's my 12 team. It'll be interesting, but to end this, we're gonna go over who we think. It's been a week since we talked about it, but you got Washington and you got Texas.
What am I doing?
Washington or Texas?
Oh, it's still Texas, bro.
Still Texas? That's how you still feel? All right, Alabama or Missouri?
Missouri.
Alabama or Michigan? I
was like, wait, what? They switched something up on me? Alabama still.
So you think Alabama Texas rematch?
Yep. And
who wins?
Texas comes out. It's gonna be super close because I think Alabama's gonna look for revenge, but Texas is gonna win by at least 3.
So you're saying Texas will be in the national championships?
I think so.
I like the way you think. You know what I mean?
I just don't think Washington can really compete with their defensive line, but that's just me.
It's gonna be good games.
Yeah.
I like the outcome. I still have Texas and Alabama in there. Um, I have it by one.
By one.
By 1 point. I think something's just gonna happen crazy, but they're gonna win. Texas is gonna win by 1 point. Now, the real good game is Florida State against Georgia, and then Missouri against Penn State.
I feel like Missouri's gonna blow out Penn State.
I feel like they are too.
I'm gonna say I feel they just I think they're just gonna blow them out.
Yeah. I feel Missouri is going to definitely blow out Penn State. Penn State has the top rated defense in the college football, but they really didn't play anybody other than other than Ohio State and Michigan. So, and they got exposed in both.
And then Georgia and Florida State. If Florida State even, I've been sending you these what they've been saying and everything.
You think they're going to opt out?
I don't know, bro. The way they're talking right now,
that's a lot of money, bro. That's a lot of NIL money.
Well, this is what they said. So they broke it down this way, just like they're gonna get ready, they accept the bowl, get ready, same game day situations, everything. Go to where's it at? The Orange Bowl?
Yeah, the Orange Bowl.
Go over there, do their game situations, warm up, whatever, and then when it's game time, they're gonna come out and just like, hey, we're not playing. Because at that point, they've already got their money and everything for the bowl, just showing up and everything, and then they're just gonna not play. But hey, I don't know. I'm not part of the team, not part of the program.
That backlash would be crazy.
I'm just repeating of what these people are saying. It could be completely wrong. They just go in there and play, but hey, that's what they're saying.
If they do that, they're fraud. They're a bunch of crybabies. I just want to go ahead and say, play the bowl.
I have not seen.
Play the bowl to your best abilities. Win the game so you can say the committee was wrong. It's over. You got screwed. We know you got screwed. It's over. Play the bowl. Do what you got to do.
And I see them playing too, just because some of these like seniors and everybody in this their last year, they'll probably want to go play and everything. Like, yeah, of course, it's not a playoffs or a national championship, but it's still a good bowl. You're playing Georgia,
playing Georgia. Yeah, you're playing Georgia. You beat Georgia. They're like, maybe we were wrong.
Yeah,
but speaking of this, we're gonna end this, but we got to end this on a little argument. See what Marvin Harrison said?
We're not getting into this again, bro.
No. Because you and Cody sat up here and y'all told me.
And I'm still going to say it.
Marvin Harrison, the wide receiver.
Obviously, he don't like national championships, obviously.
He said, if I had to stay one more year, it would be because I would want to win. Not a national championship, right?
Crazy.
He said, I would want to win a Big Ten championship and beat the team up north. That is in Michigan. The number one wide receiver in NCAA, according to the award voters, went on the record on a national newsletter and said, I would rather win just the Big Ten championship and beat Michigan than win a national championship. My case is closed. You can do your arguments, but I was right. I told you the boys don't care nothing about but beating Michigan.
My point stands in. They don't care about winning. They just care about beating Michigan. They can go 1-10 as long as they beat Michigan. And you were trying to up here and tell me that they wouldn't care about what's it called? They would care about winning besides Michigan. But they just
they would.
Michigan.
No. Listen, no. They care. No, I said no. I said they care. They would. You were like, if they lose every game with the talent Ohio State has.
Obviously.
But listen, if they went 8-3, and in those 8 wins, let's just say since it's in the Big Ten is extending, right? More teams are coming in. If they went 8-3 next year and they lost to Oregon, Washington, and let's just say Indiana. I'm going to just throw a bullshit team in there. But in those 8 games, they beat Michigan and Penn State. Ryan Day is safe. Next year, if they don't beat Michigan, They wasted Marvin Harrison not beating Michigan. Kyle McCord is gone. They're gonna probably bring in Will Howard, who God knows probably couldn't play in the cold, to
He's
Ohio
from
State.
Kansas State. It's cold over there.
Kansas State. Who get the windy? What is it? The
You
windy
act
city?
like Kansas State wasn't good this year.
They weren't.
They were.
They weren't.
Kansas State went like 8-3 or something like that.
They were not that good. What did they? They lost to They didn't even make it to the Big 12. Oklahoma State beat them.
Oklahoma State was beating everybody.
Except they got blown out in the championship game. But no, keep on task. Keep on task. Next year, I'm telling you, if that man known as Ryan Day does not beat Michigan,
yeah, they went 8-4.
It's a deal. 8-4 is way different than 8-3 player. I'm just gonna throw it out there. You know what I mean?
Okay. Sorry.
That's an extra. That's an extra L. That's an extra L. That's an extra L. What were their losses?
Let me get their losses real quick. I know one was Texas.
Texas. Oklahoma
Kansas.
State had to be one. Kansas. They lost to Kansas, bro.
Kansas was 8-4 too, bro. You act like these Kansas teams weren't playing this year.
They were 8-4. I'm tired of William Howard. Wasn't
you?
Bro.
You just said as long as they go, they beat Michigan. 8.
That's Ohio State.
Fine.
That's Ohio State.
Okay.
That's
okay.
Ohio State.
Okay. My fault.
Yeah,
my bad.
Your bad. That's Ohio State. So, like I was saying, my initial argument: Ohio State doesn't beat Michigan next year. Not only is Ryan Day on the hot seat, but he wasted Marvin Harrison's extra year. They probably won't have a quarterback that's going to be better than Kyle McCord. It's going to be probably the worst. I don't want to say the worst, but it's going to be a difficult season for Ohio State. And at the end of it, Ryan Day won't be there. You know what? Listen, because I'm trying to get you to move. We're trying to get you to move to Dallas. But if you move to Dallas or whenever you come to Dallas, you can pick any restaurant. I don't care if the restaurant is $500 for 4 people.
Hey, I ain't doing that.
All right. If Ryan Day does not beat Michigan next year, and at the end of the offseason he's not fired, dinner is on me. Dinner is on me.
I'm like back to what I was saying. They obviously don't care about winning. They just care about Michigan. So I hope they lose next year to Penn State, Michigan, Oregon, and whoever else. Just because of that statement. Obviously, they don't care about winning. As long as we beat Michigan, I ain't got nothing to argue about. It's just why are y'all so obsessed with them? Just because y'all haven't beat them the last 3 years? That's crazy.
It's a big rivalry. It's a huge rivalry.
No, well, you didn't see what's it called? Like players from Michigan is saying, "Oh, well, I'm staying another year because we want to beat Ohio State or whatever."
They beat them the last 4 years.
I'm talking about. Can I finish my point?
My bad. You're right. Okay.
When Harbaugh got there the first year, they lost like 5 years in a row or whatever. You didn't see these Michigan players like, you know what? As long as I can go back and we beat them dudes down south or whatever, I'll be good. They don't care. It's not like that for them. As long as they're winning, going to the playoffs, competing for a national championship, they don't care. They do not care. Of course, they do have to be met to Ohio State to get into these playoffs, but they're not worried about this rivalry and then we're gonna fire somebody just because they can't beat the so and so team or whatever. That sounds like an Ohio State thing. It sounds like a freaking what's it called? Like a jealous ex or something. We can't compete with somebody else. It's ridiculous, bro. Just win your games, beat your rival, but don't dwell on just this goes for the school, the athletic director, the boosters, Marvin Harrison. Y'all need to worry about winning a national championship, not worried about, Michigan this, Michigan that. Of course, you have to beat them, but after you lose, move on. Beat them the next year. But all this we're going to fire Ryan Day because we can't beat them. Okay. There's a 12-team playoffs next year. Y'all going to get in, so he gets fired because they didn't beat Michigan, but y'all still in the playoffs?
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes, he
a toxic ex that's just jealous of the other dude just because they can't beat him. It's
Hey,
ridiculous, bro.
I don't
It's
know
so
about
stupid.
you. I don't know you, but Toxic X is crash out these days. So you know what I mean.
I hope they lose next year.
I hope they do too, so my point can be proven that them boys gonna get him out of there. But it's been nice talking to you. You know what I mean? It's
You
we
just want
can't
to piss me off like that.
we really can't go deep into this, but we will be back this Sunday. Um, we got some bowl games coming up this week. Probably there'll
Oh
be
wait,
more
we didn't even go
transfer
over
portal.
the best and worst bowl game. We picked two.
The best
One
and
worst
worst.
one. Yeah, like like the all the out of all the bowl games, what do you
Oh
think
yeah,
be the
yeah,
worst
yeah.
bowl game and what would be the best bowl game? We'll just one and two, just one of the worst and one of the best, and then we get up out of here.
Worst Pop Tart bowl because they got a human that's gonna be as a pop going to be dressed up as a Pop Tart and everybody's going to be eating off of it. That's going
Who
to be
playing in that
crazy.
one?
I have no idea, but I just know it's the Pop Tart Bowl. Um,
Just the Pop Tart
the
bowl?
yeah, it's called the Pop Tart Bowl.
We went over
That's
this. I don't remember that one.
that's the worst. Yeah, that's going to be the worst one. Just because they're gonna the winners get to eat a Pop Tart off. Basically, some of my guys gonna be dressed up as Pop
Hey,
Tart.
oh wait, they're just giving them Pop Tarts.
No, they're eating. They're eating. The
All
guy's
of
gonna
them?
be dressed up as
Hey, yo, pause, bro. Wait a minute.
That's why I said it's the worst bowl. And
I,
my
I would
best,
I would I would need
my
one play, bro.
the best bowl I think is going to be the uh, sugar. No, it's not the Sugar Bowl, but it'll be Missouri against Penn State.
Missouri against Penn State.
Yeah, there's not a lot of opt outs. Um, both quarterbacks are going to be playing. It's going to be Big Ten versus SEC, kind of big. So both coaches aren't on the hot seat, so it'll be good to see. That'll probably be the best bowl, but the worst bowl is definitely gonna be the Pop Tart Bowl.
I guess I missed this Pop Tart, but I do not remember talking about that. That's crazy. I wouldn't even want to win, bro.
And then you got the Mayo Bowl where the coach gets mayo dumped on his head.
What are they doing in these bowls? What is happening?
Entertainment.
Nah, bro. Nah. I wasn't even going off the bowl names, but I'm just going off the teams that are playing. So my worst bowl is probably gonna. I just started laughing because I just saw who it was. It's gonna be the Independence Bowl. And you know who's
Damn.
playing?
Who? James
Uh,
Madison, the Air Force?
No.
Who?
Texas Tech and Cal.
Damn, that's bad.
Worst
Why you
bowl.
do it like that?
But no. But for real, I think it's gonna be the Bahama Bowl with Western Kentucky and Old Dominion. I didn't even know Old Dominion played football. I thought they just did basketball.
No, they had a I won't say okay, but they had a team this year.
Yeah, I thought they just did basketball over there, but yeah. And the best bowl, just not going off of the New Year's Six or whatever. I think it's gonna be. Dang, where'd it go? I just lost it. Oklahoma State and A&M.
That would be a good bowl because they used to
Yeah,
play each other back in the Big 12. So
that's what I was thinking. Just like a whole Big 12 thing.
Mike Elkos, Jeff Gundy,
Yeah. So I
Ollie
think that'll
Gordon.
that'll probably be a good bowl game. But besides, like the New Year's Six or whatever, I think that'll be probably the better one. Besides the Mizzou and Penn State one too.
I can't wait to see the Pop Tart Bowl, bro. I'm trying to see if they're
I
really
feel
gonna eat
I
that
feel
Pop Tart.
bad for NC State and Kansas State in that Pop Tarts bowl. That's crazy.
I can't wait. Make sure y'all do us a favor. Like the video on YouTube. We'll be posting clips on TikTok this week. Make sure to follow the podcast.
And
Leave
on
it a
Reels
like.
too.
Yeah, on the Reels, on Instagram Reels.
Instagrams too.
Make sure you follow the podcast on Spotify, on Apple, Amazon, wherever you are. Like it. Give it a 5-star rating. Leave us a rating. If you leave us a question, you want us to talk about something, put it in the YouTube comments. They are open. And yeah, that's
One more thing before we go. Shout out to Cody for coming on last week. and
Oh yeah, shout out to Cody.
being like the mitigator between us, because all we do is basically argue and giving us numbers and everything. So shout out Cody for that.
Cody's gonna be our college football therapist. He'll come in and give us a little way. Also, follow the Instagram. Follow Instagram. Let us know what you like. Let us know what you don't like. We've got some sound quality that's perfect now. Appreciate y'all sticking with us through the first couple episodes. But please like the video, subscribe to the YouTube. We really appreciate it. We're gonna keep doing this every Sunday, coming out every Monday. But yeah, that's yours, Charles Comer and James from the Over and Under podcast, and we are out.
See y'all.